Humans have enlisted animals to help fight their wars since prehistoric times, and some of the world's earliest historical sources tell of battles between ancient warlords and horse-drawn chariots. Dogs and horses were probably the first animals used in war, and many are still used today in modern military and police tasks. However, history has shown us that apart from dogs and horses, other animals were also used in wartime. In this video, we will show you the 5 most unusual animals used in war. Number 5. War elephants. Imagine how threatening these large animals would be coming over a hillside or out of a mist during battle. In addition to their odd and threatening appearance, the sound the elephants made would have been just as frightening. Despite its critical role in several battles in antiquity, their use declined with the spread of firearms in the early modern period. But how did they do it? Well, the most important figures were that of the mahout, that is, elephant trainers. They were responsible for capturing and handling them. To accomplish this, they utilized metal chains and a specialized hook called an ankusa or elephant goad. The elephant would have learned how to raise its leg to help a rider climb on. Then the elephants were taught to run and maneuver around obstacles and move in formation. It is commonly thought that all war elephants were male because of males' greater aggression, but it is rather because a female elephant in battle will run from a male. Therefore, only males could be used in war, whereas female elephants were more commonly used for logistics. They all proved an excellent means of transportation and could be used to move heavy equipment and supplies over large distances. Elephants were also used as siege weapons. There are several accounts of elephants using their heads and tusks to batter fortifications until they faltered. The animals were also used to ford rivers. They could be used as bridges or simply to block the current to allow troops to cross a rapid. But no matter how well prepared or disciplined they are, elephants are still wild at heart. This posed problems to their use in combat. On more than one occasion, elephants panicked and trampled friendly soldiers during confrontations. It's not clear when elephants were first used in war, but it is widely accepted that everything started in ancient India by the 6th century BC, and continued well into the medieval period as well. From India, military thinking on the use of war elephants spread westward to the Persian Empire, where they were used in several campaigns and in turn came to influence the campaigns of Alexander the Great. Since then, the military use of this beast spread throughout the world. Number 4. Bears. Have you ever heard the story about a bear who fought Hitler's Nazis? Yes, bears were also war heroes. The story of our furry friend called Wojtek took place after the German invasion in 1941, when Polish soldiers were released by Russia and were passing through the Middle East on their way back to Europe. Picking up new members on such a trip wouldn't be unusual, but Wojtek's case was a little different because he was a bear. Wojtek, whose mother is thought to have been shot by hunters, was bought by Polish soldiers while they were in Iran and eventually joined what would become the Polish 2nd Corps 22nd Artillery Supply Company in 1942. He actually became a soldier in having his own paybook and serial number. Nursing the bear with a bottle of condensed milk and a vodka bottle, the soldiers treated Wojtek like a baby, perhaps because their own families had been torn apart by the war. But pretty soon, as bear cubs are apt to do, Wojtek grew up. He would accept lit cigarettes, take a puff and swallow them. Dmitry Zaulugo, one of the soldiers who took care of the bear, once wrote, "He loved to drink from a beer bottle, and when it was empty, he would look through the opening to see where the rest of the beer was." During the Battle of Monte Cassino, the bear was seen on the front lines carrying what was thought to be live ammunition to help load the guns. Since then, the bear became a cult hero. The regiment changed its insignia to an image of the bear and an ammo shell and boasted that the bear was an enlisted soldier. When the war ended and Polish troops scattered all over the world, Wojtek ended up in Scotland at the Edinburgh Zoo. Former members of his unit often visited him at the zoo, where he lived until his death in 1963 at age 21. Number 3. Horses. As we have learnt at the beginning of this video, elephants were used in warfare for thousands of years in India, Phoenicia, and some other geographically close places. They were considered to be extremely powerful animals, capable of breaking any rank or cavalry in a single stampede. Hindu elephants became a nightmare for the forces of Alexander the Great, and the elephants of Epirus and those of Hannibal hit strongly the Romans. But Rajputs' thirst for power, members of a northern India's warrior caste who constantly combined strategies from Arabia, Europe, and Mongolia in order to defeat those who stood in their way, discovered the perfect instrument to fight those famous elephants. One of these instruments was the Marwari horse, a rare breed of horse noted for its loyalty and bravery in battle. By combining the most useful characteristics of Arabians, Turkomans, and local stock, the Rajputs created an intelligent, fearless, and hardy breed with which to defeat endless invasions and hold onto power over the centuries. The Rajputs cleverly exploited the enemy's weak point to get close in battle by fashioning false trunks for their horses, making them appear to be baby elephants which the adult animals instinctively would not attack. In fact, many historic paintings celebrating the Rajputs' lengthy reign show Marwaris fighting elephants. Arguably the most famous conflict, which is depicted in a painting displayed at the city palace in the Rajasthani city of Udaipur, was the 1576 Battle of Haldagadi, which took place nearby. Legendary horse Chetak is credited with saving the life of his master, Maharana Pratap, the last Rajput still standing against Mughal Emperor Akbar. Chetak is shown in the customary false trunk with his hooves on the lead enemy elephant, allowing Pratap to throw his lance at Akbar's general. However, the general ducked, his mahout was killed instead, and the general's elephant swung around in panic, slashing off one of Chetak's legs with a sword attached to its trunk for combat. The dying steed still managed to carry Pratap off the battlefield, and the Rajput, his forces heavily outnumbered, escaped on his brother Shakti Singh's horse. Although ultimately a defeat for the Rajputs, the battle is regarded by historians as a showcase of the loyalty and bravery of the clan and their horses. Number 2. Military dolphins. Dogs aren't the only animals who can land jobs in the military. These sea mammals make attractive military assets because of their intelligence and trainability, as well as their speed in the water and an echolocation ability that far outperforms the best electronic competitors. Due to the secrecy of such practice, rumors of military dolphins include training them in order to lay underwater mines, to locate enemy combatants, or to seek and destroy submarines using kamikaze methods. But dolphins can also be trained to kill, according to one persistent rumor surrounding the U.S. Navy's marine mammal program. Some of the countries which probably use military mammals are the United States and Russia. The Navy Marine Mammal Program at the Space and Naval Warfare Systems Command, or SPAWAR, in San Diego, California, trains 85 dolphins and 50 sea lions, according to SPAWAR spokesman Jim Fallon. The program first started in 1960, when the Navy studied Noddy, a female Pacific white-sided dolphin. The Navy hoped to study the dolphin's biomechanics and then use its findings for developing faster torpedoes. But soon, military researchers realized that the dolphins themselves could become a battlefield asset. As said before, the US isn't alone in training military dolphins. Starting in 1965, the Soviet Union tried to develop its own dolphin force at a Black Sea port near Sevastopol in Crimea. Moscow's dolphins are trained to not only ram interlopers with their beaks, but also to attack with a large gas-powered hypodermic needle. The use of the needle against a human being underwater would likely prove fatal. Besides, these poor animals are also trained to attack ships with sea mines. Number 1. Dogs in warfare. While dogs are known as man's best friend, they're also fur missiles that have served in mankind's wars since at least 600 BC, when the Lydian king deployed dogs to help break the invading army of Cimmerians. In the early days, the dogs were used to break up enemy formations, charging into the ranks and tearing down as many soldiers as possible. Friendly forces would either hit the enemy just behind the dogs or would wait, letting the dogs sow chaos before the humans hit with maximum force. As warfare modernized, so did the service of dogs. They gained armor for avoiding injury in combat, and breeders tailored new generations of dogs better suited for fighting. Dogs were pressed into new roles, acting as couriers, sentries, and scouts. During World War I, dogs originally appointed as unit mascots distinguished themselves in open combat. One of America's greatest animal war heroes served in World War I. His name was Stubby. Stubby was found wandering across an Army training session in Connecticut in the United States of America in 1917. One soldier, Corporal Robert Conroy, took a liking to him and decided to call him Stubby because of his short tail. Sergeant Stubby passed away in 1926 when he was about 10 years old. He gained so much popularity during his life that the New York Times newspaper wrote an article celebrating his life. In World War II, dogs returned to their old roles, but they were also pressed into new ones. In one of the more horrific moments for animal combat, Soviet forces trained dogs to scurry under German tanks while wearing magnetic mines. The mines would detonate against the hull, disabling or killing the tank, but also the dog. Nowadays, military working dogs continue to serve as sentries, trackers, search and rescue, scouts, and mascots. Retired working dogs are often adopted as pets or therapy dogs. Animals have not been the only strange animals seen in wartime. Encounters with supernatural demonic entities have also been documented throughout the history. Would you like to know the most chilling ones? If so, take a look at this video.